Hey everyone, welcome to another series of a Doki Doki Literature Club mod. This one is called Fruits of the Literature Club. You missed the rather superbly done starting screen because I was testing my equipment. It's good to be making another series. I didn't quite expect so many people to like the one that I did. I know that it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people compared to a lot of other YouTubers, but I appreciate the people like that I'm making these at all. It doesn't really matter how many people, not to me at least. I do have a Twitter. If you want to follow me or tweet at me or something like that, I'll put it in the description. I don't use it a lot. I just found it again after like making it in 2014. That's really all that is. That's all I have to share there. If you have any suggestions for other series, other visual novels, other games even, I'm free to play them. I love playing visual novels in particular. Oh, and one other thing before we name our character, as some of you may have seen and heard, I talked really fast in the last one, and I realized that I'll be working on it. Try to not run a mile a minute. That's really it. I'm not gonna name the character after myself this time because I felt it was a little clunky getting named Gunner. So I'm gonna name this character just a random name. I choose Alex. The morning sun hit my eyeballs, causing them to squint shut. Having my experience, I'm used to it, but nevertheless annoyed. This is one of the few times I wish I had long hair to block out the sun from hitting my eyes. Oh, just a moment. There we go. But unfortunately, I am mandated to keep my hair below a specific length. Mandated, huh? Oh, also, I really like the text box. I think I've seen this as like a free-to-use one somewhere. Could be wrong, though. The rhythmic sound of the train hitting the rails remains a reminder of where I am destined. I look out of the window that I happen to be sitting next to and into the city. The stories I have heard about this place. When I found out that I was coming here, I'll tell you it left a sour taste in my mouth. The train begins to lose momentum, signaling our arrival momentarily. I hear a familiar digital sound emanating from my watch, indicating the new hour that we have reached. Just as it does 23 other times a day, the train comes to a complete halt. The passengers around me, myself included, stand up and begin to depart our vessel. The moment I step out onto the nicely maintained cement, I hear a voice calling out to me. Alex! Alex! I cock my head slightly towards the direction of the sound and see an old man that used to be an acquaintance of mine. I turn and walk towards the man. I didn't expect to see you here, old man. Before me is a man around 5 feet and 7 inches tall. Pretty short compared to the rest of the people I'm around. His wrinkled face and squinted eyes turn into a genuine smile at the sight of me. The same with you. What are you doing here? Literally just got into town. Oh? You were here for anything special? One of his eyebrows lifted up. Nope. Just here to go to school. His face changes. It looks as if he's surprised. What is that face for, old man? Never thought I would hear those words come out of your mouth, Alex. Back in, well, you know. You weren't so spry to go to school. That I was not. But times have changed and I am ready to go to a normal school for once. His smile returns. He pats me on the back with an all too familiar pattern. Ha! Well, that's great. And what are you doing here? Well, I retired. Came out here to live with my daughter and her kids. Daughter? Now there is something I didn't expect you to say. Well, everyone gets old and needs to settle down eventually. Yeah, but I never thought you would. I expected you to remain with the majority of us until you finally gave out. Well, here I am. Do you have any place to stay? Do you have a place to stay? Yeah, I have a house somewhere near the school. Eastern side? Northeast. Ah, I know it. Need a ride? Well, I didn't have any other plan. Eh, so you were gonna walk there? Pretty much. Where's your luggage? Everything I own is in the bag on my back. I point one of my thumbs to a black Kevlar backpack I have securely strapped to me. You always travel light, don't you? Easier to disappear when necessary. He chuckles. Come on, let me show you to my car. By your leave. The old man has a pretty stylish car. My father used to have one of these. A '69 Mustang. She is a beauty, isn't she? This is how you spent your retirement fund. Oh no, I still have a good half left. So out of the 800 grand they gave you, you spent a quarter of it already? Kids aren't cheap. As well as this sexy of a car. The black Mustang accelerated onto a turnpike and eventually into a city street. When we departed the train station, I expected it to be a short ride to the place I'm living at, but I was very wrong. Turns out this train station is about a 15-minute straight drive on the freeway. Doesn't seem like much if you're a driver. But if you are walking, like myself, it would have taken as long as 3 hours. The convenience of a freeway allows drivers to get across great distances at greater speeds than normal roads. So, are you still on Ashley's detail? The Idol? Nah, I left that a long time ago. Trouble from up? Nope, just did as much as I could then. So in short, you weren't needed anymore. Pretty much. Bummer. Bummer. I don't socialize well with others. Especially with a teenager with a small degree of popularity among even more hormonal teens. Sounds to me like you got into some drama with this girl. I don't know what you're talking about. I look back towards him, a casual glare into his face. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you didn't try to get with her. Are you serious? No. Good. You know that isn't allowed. That, and I don't really have a need for any type of relationship right now. Or at all if I really look at it. You will eventually. Doubt it. We remain quiet for a few moments. I keep thinking on my comment about a relationship. It's not like I don't want one. It's the fact that, in the position I am in, it would have a lot of unnecessary stress. It's not every day that I can just breathe and live a normal life day by day. Every day has a small amount of repetitiveness to it. But that is another story. We are almost there. Again, I appreciate the ride. You should stop by one day for dinner. I think my daughter would love to meet you. Huh, why is that? I ruffle my eyebrows at him. Because you're basically like me when I was younger. She's always nagging me about telling her about my younger years. You haven't, right? Of course not. I know better. I was about to say. Don't lecture me on policies I lived by for 30 years, Alex. With age comes easiness, old man. I still think I could take you. That would be interesting. I still am active, you know. How so? Granted, the man was old, but he still had a pretty fit body. Usually as men get older, especially where I come from, they tend to just let themselves go. They say, screw it, I worked hard these years and I earned this. Then they just let their bodies waste with alcohol, tobacco, and junk food. I teach a self-defense class downtown. That's one way. You should pop by, give some of the ruffians in my class a little reality check. Why is that? Because you and I both know to never underestimate an opponent. They could be just as clever, attentive, aware, and more skilled than you. Ah, the old 1x4 rule. Exactly. As he says those words, we turn a steep corner and find ourselves in a pretty nice suburban neighborhood. This is it? This is it? Yeah, this is it. I pull the polished metallic door handle and exit the car. I look back at the man and give him one last gesture of farewell. Thank you, Jeff. You got it. Before switching gears and leaving, he gives me one last smile. Well then, let's check this place out. I look around the neighborhood, notice that this suburban block has the same architecture for nearly almost all the buildings. I take a look at the spacing between the house I am living in and the one next to it on both sides. I check the integrity of the fence that borders. Decent strength. I take a stroll around the perimeter of the house. I take a note of the number of windows, their positions on the structure, and their height from the ground. Second-story windows should be fine. I take note of what looks to be the balcony and the back door. As I walk to the front of the house, I notice a girl walking down the street. She's wearing a counterpart of the uniform I was given for school, so she must be going to the same school as I. She has somewhat of a skip in her step. Her blue eyes look up into the sky and at the flowers she passes by. Her hair is a sort of coral pink color. She has a bright red bow on the left side of her hair. It looks sloppily positioned. I rub my eyes because I swear I see her glow. That girl seems to just emanate joy. I scoff at her and turn myself to the door. Kid will learn that the world isn't all sunshine and isn't all the sunshine and rainbows she thinks. Oh, you have no idea, Alex. I unlock the door and enter. Right away, first impressions. This is rather interesting. I know that this mod is rather acclaimed for its unique take on the MC, and right away, he strikes me like a Tom Clancy character. I remember reading some Tom Clancy books back when I was younger. Red Rabbit and a few other ones. He kind of reminds me of one of those characters. I guess we'll see how that goes, and how interacting with the girls will go with this unique of a character and this unique of a setting for him in terms of his position in the world. Immediately, I'm greeted with a short hallway around 3 steps before the kitchen opens to the right. The kitchen is rather modern and well furnished. I check the fridge and nothing. I chuckle at myself, not knowing what else to expect. The place is furnished, but I was just curious. I close the fridge and look out into the living room which borders it. I take a look into the living room and out at the windows. I look and see if I can see the space directly below the window. I can't. I walk across the room and open a small white door. It leads to a laundry room fit with a washer and dryer. Luxury. It will definitely be easier than manually washing and drying my clothes. I close the door and head upstairs. Immediately on the left is my bathroom, and across from that is my bedroom. They seriously did not spare any expense with the decor here. In my bedroom is a closet, dresser, bed, desk, and several miscellaneous items that make it look lived in. I take a moment to place my backpack on the bed and survey the area from my window. Once I get a good understanding, I walk out of my room. Next to the stairwell is a sliding glass door that leads to the balcony. I walk out onto the medium-sized cement balcony. I lean forward on the wall, my forearm supporting me, and look out into the neighborhood. I can see some grade school-age kids playing with a jungle gym some well-funded parents purchased. I also see an old man petting his dog in his front yard. Neighborhood watchman here, huh? I look to my left and notice the same girl I saw earlier in her room. I didn't realize I lived so close to her. Through the glass window of her bedroom, I notice her moving around from left side of the room to the right. She's moving something, most likely a change of clothes. She steps in front of the window facing to the side. She makes a few faces which confirm my initial theory is correct. She's looking into a mirror. She undoes the red tie, pulls off her gray jacket, and starts to unbutton her white undershirt. Yep. I turn away from the view and return inside. There we go. A proper gentleman. No peefing. My watch beeps, indicating it is now at 2100. 2000. 200? 20. It's 20, whatever. 4 more hours until midnight. Normally I would be in bed by now, but I'm waiting on an important call. It doesn't bother me much since I have gone days before without sleep. Losing a few hours for one night isn't gonna kill me. I kick my feet up on the opposite side of the couch and lean back. I continue to read the book that I have in my hands. I make sure to turn on the news earlier. I got a general idea of the community here. I made it a habit of mine to always check the local news to scout out the area, to see whether there is high crime, no crime, political activity, the usual. I'm not a big fan of politics, but knowing the local debate helps me understand the people better. The sound of my phone going off sends a shiver down my spine. It isn't the sound that sends the feeling down my back, it's the reason for it. I answer the phone call. 0600. 6 a.m. 6 o'clock hits. I am already ready for school. For a normal person not used to wearing uniforms, the school's outfit does seem a bit excessive. But since I have been in uniforms all my life, this is nothing to me. I take a look at myself in the mirror for a quick medical check. No wounds or scratches overnight. I take another drink of water and plan out my day. I will follow my normal school schedule, and on my way home I will stop by the grocery store and pick up some food, then head home. Once I get home, I will go on a run to get me further familiar with the area. And when that's done, I will be on free time. I take a last look in the mirror and retrieve my bag. As I reach the gates of the school, I notice the congregation of students in the courtyard. There are little groups of students huddled around each other, all doing different things. Some were on their phones just ignoring each other. Some were running around acting like children. And some were socializing with each other like normal people. I ignore them all. There isn't any reason for me to talk to any of them. With one backpack strap wrapped around my shoulder, I enter the large white concrete building. After a self-tour of the school, I reach my first classroom. The school itself wasn't too large. I have definitely been in much larger compounds. It wasn't a problem to find my locker, my first class, and the lunch area. Students pass by me, all casually talking and complaining about everyday things. I silently laugh to myself about some of the petty things these inexperienced people complain about. It gives me a sense of gratitude for where I have come from. I never complained about my phone having a micro crack, or that I didn't get the money to go to the latest movie. Stupid things like that slightly irritate me. The bell rings and I enter the classroom. Third period has ended and it was now time for lunch. I noticed that the girl who lives next to me was in my class, and I have overheard several classmates and teachers call her and the teacher call her Sayori. The name instantly engraved itself into my mind. Without hesitation, students stood up from their desks and departed. I stand up, stretch quickly, grab my bag, and leave the classroom. I approach my locker and get ready to switch out my books. Before I can even touch my locker, I hear someone grunting. Ugh. My head perks up a little and I head towards the sound. It was on the opposite side of my locker. When I turned my head around the corner, I stood the same girl who was in my class and lived right next to me having trouble with her lock. She seemed to genuinely be having a hard time with her lock. Having trouble there, are you? I reveal myself from around the corner. Huh? No, I got it. You sure? You look like you're trying to initiate the release mechanism, but you don't have the right code in. It's hard to do this thing. I walk next to her and touch the lock. What's the combination? What? Afraid I'm gonna steal your textbook that I happen to have the exact same copies to? No. Okay, fine. It is 9/27/17. The lock clicks. There you go. What? You got it that fast? I'm very familiar with these types of locks. I show her how to properly orient the combination lock. That is how you unlock these. Thank you. I wave my hand to her locker and turn around. Hey, wait! Hmm? I turn around to look at her. You're the new guy in class, right? Wait, you're that new guy in class today. Yeah, I remember seeing you when I was walking home yesterday. I don't think you talked your way home, Sayori. Ah, yes, I remember you too. The name is Alex. Alex? I like that name. It's what I was given. Anyway, goodbye. I turn away from Sayori and return to my locker. Where are you going? I'm going to put my stuff away, then go eat. Don't forget what I showed you. Okay, thank you. That's the bun. First meeting. Interesting so far. This character's very straight-laced, very government. I know a few people like him. The final bell signifies the end of the school day. I grab my bag and depart down the hallway. As I walk down the hallway, I pass by two girls who were in debate about something I didn't care much about or notice. Something about manga. I had a schedule to stick to, so I didn't stick around to pay any attention to their frivolous conversation. As I reach the gates of the school, I hear a voice call after me. Alex, wait up! I turn around and immediately prepare for someone to charge me, but I am only met with the sight of Sayori running to catch up with me. Alex! What do you want? Also, why are you shouting? I'm going to draw attention as if something bad is happening, woman. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I have a question for you. A question? If it's something I can answer, I guess you can ask. So I know you're new here and all, and I don't want to overwhelm you, but have you looked at any clubs we offer here at school? Clubs? Elaborate, please. Well, we have little groups of students that participate in extracurricular activities for fun and to get experience for college. Okay. What was your point of asking me this? Well, I was curious to see if you would join mine. You have a club? Yep, I'm the vice president of the Literature Club. Literature Club? So you just read books and write out all afternoon? That is pretty mean and blunt. That is a pretty mean and blunt way for you to put it. Well, excuse me, but it's not very attention-catching. I think I'll pass on that proposition for now. Not even if I ask really nicely? No. Meanie. I've been called worse. Sorry flashes a pouted face toward me a couple times in an attempt to break my resolve. Unfortunately for her, I'm a very efficient magician to keep a straight professional face when needed. Every morning, afternoon, and evening, I always had a friend who would pay our class a visit and make sure we were all professional. Anyways, I'm going home. You enjoy your club. Okay, bye. I turn away from her and head home. Kind of a smart move, you know, all that stuff with the hanging and the neck cracking and the noose. You can just kind of avoid it. As I watch the steak on the portable oven grill, I occasionally glance over towards the homework I was given. Normal English and social history subjects were a breeze for me. However, math was a different subject. The math I normally use in life is much different than the general principle they teach in schools. In short, they're two different ball games. But begrudgingly, I continue to finish the homework, taking a few breaks at a time to continue to make my meal. I settled on a lean cut of meat, cooked medium rare with asparagus and rice. All are high in nutritional value and are very filling. I cooked several steaks and prepared different portions of asparagus and rice for later meals. It's better to prep your food now and eat it later, in my opinion. That's what I used to do in my old school, where I lived in a dorm with about 80 other students. Made it really easy to wake up when signaled, eat quickly, and get my morning hygiene routine done. I slide my homework into a special folder I have designated for work I needed to do while at home. I finished making the final steak, which I plan to eat tonight since it was for the freshest. As I sit down at the table, I eat silently. During this time, I just clear my mind and finish eating my food at a fast pace. It's the equivalent of meditation for me, as it is to others. Back at my old school, it was very hard to remain focused while eating, since we only had about 10 minutes to eat our food. That included getting to the hall, grabbing our food, getting into the seat, and then eating. Normally by the time you made it through the line, you've already lost 5 minutes, so eating fast is paramount. But it was during these times I learned to focus on only eating. If I cleared my head, it was much easier. I found it oddly calming. I had gained quite an appetite after my run around the block earlier. I now have a good idea of the ins and outs of the neighborhood. Some may ask why I do this, but the answer is simple. Know your way out of any situation. You never know when you need an immediate escape. While I was returning from my run, I saw Sayori arrive at her house. I had the opportunity to say hi, but I dismissed it. There isn't a reason for me to get involved with that girl, or anyone for that matter. Why would she even ask me to join her club? There's a couple of possibilities. She's lonely, she's attracted to me and is looking for a way to get to know me more, or she is just inherently friendly and bubbly. But it is kind of foolish to just push a request on someone you only just met. A lesson I learned very well as a young child. Ever since then, I'm always cautious about where I am and who I meet. Someone even as simple looking as Sayori can hide an evil past, one that we cannot run from. I shake my head, breaking myself out of these thoughts. I finished my dinner long ago. I quickly cleaned the dishes and put them away. School, 11:47. Lunch period has arrived, and I do my book exchange as normal. Once I close my locker, I hear another grunt from the opposite side. Probably Sayori. Peer around the corner, and sure enough, there she was. She looks like she is struggling with her lock again. Before confronting her, I watch her carefully. She is definitely trying the way to disarm the lock that I showed her yesterday, so that is good, I guess. I watch her carefully to see if she is successful. Click. The lock releases and she opens her locker with a happy smile. I turn around and return to my locker, but before I could really do anything, I hear, "Thank you, Alex." She saw me? Damn, she has good peripheral vision. No problem. I call out from my locker. I close the silver-colored door and turned around to notice that Sayori is right behind me. Jesus Christ, woman. Hi! Didn't your parents ever tell you not to sneak up on people like that? You didn't notice me walk right past you? Evidently not. Oh, I'm sorry. Not like you intentionally attempted to scare me. If you did, then I would have to fight you. What? I'm just joking with you. That isn't funny. Where I come from, that type of humor is just the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, what did you want? Well, I was gonna ask if you thought about the literature club thingy I asked you about yesterday. This again? Pretty sure I told you no yesterday. Well, it was worth a shot. I guess. Anyway, I guess I'll talk to you later. Leaving so soon? Huh? You'll give me those puppy dog's eyes and run away at a simple rejection. In life, you're gonna face a lot of it. Don't just run away from them. Plus, I saw you eating lunch alone yesterday. You did? Yeah, need someone to eat with today? No, you're probably just gonna be a meanie again. I'm not being mean, I'm just telling you the truth. The truth is not always easy to hear. Still, okay, I'll join your literature club, Sayori. Really? No. You're so mean! I like this guy. He's kind of a douche, but, you know, he's still funny. If you try to pussyfoot around the truth, it hurts more. Better that I denied your invitation now than to lie to you later. I don't like this. Listen, how about we go eat now? If you don't ask me to join the literature club again, I won't be a meanie. I make quotes with my fingers. Other than that, we should be fine. Okay. Sayori and I make our way to the lunchroom. It is a gem-sized, multi-purpose room that has been ribbed with several rows of wooden tables. Definitely enough to fit the number of students eating lunch in here. We get our food and sit down at a nearby table. Sayori and I begin talking about each other. And by each other, I mean her. So tell me about yourself, Alex. There isn't much to tell. Well, there has to be something. Why did you come here? To go to school. I went to another school far away and decided I needed a different and new start. Oh, why is that? Just felt like it. Just felt like it as a saying we used at my old school for don't ask about it, you don't need to know. What about you? Why are you here? Well, I started going to school here when I came here with my family. That was 12 years ago? And you're how old? I'm 18. Ah, so you've pretty much spent your whole life here. Yep. Interesting. So what do you do for fun, Sayori? Oh, lots of things. I like to draw, I like to read, I like to run around and play, and I like to play with animals. So overall, you're pretty random. Yeah. Well then. What about you? Eh? What do you like to do? Read? Read? Is that it? Oh, I exercise a lot, but I don't really consider that a hobby of mine. I need to maintain a level of fitness at all times. Huh? Why? Just feel like it. Okay. Anyway, we're done with lunch. Let's go back to the lockers. Okay. I closed my locker. The rest of the class's books in my bag. Really? All of the class? That's a lot of books. Oh, that was a terrible joke. I'm so sorry. Thank you for eating lunch with me, Alex. No problem. Oh, eh? Would you like to walk home with me after school today? Me? Why? Because we also live right next to each other, so it just works out. I walk alone. Oh, come on. Fine. Yay! But there is one thing. A catch. I knew it. When I decided to walk home with her, I knew she had something hidden. Usually when someone asks you something, there's a motive behind that question. I don't seem surprised to Sayori. What is it? You have to come to my literature club. What? I told you no, but you said you would walk home with me. And I walk home after the literature club. I could very easily change my answer to a profound no. But I promised the other club members I would introduce you today. Don't make promises you can't keep. They were all really excited to meet you. One member said she would bake cupcakes. How many of you are there? In the literature club? No, in general. You females are so goddamn persistent. It's quite annoying, really. Please, Alex. It would really mean a lot to me if you did. I don't really care if it means anything to you. You used a rather sleazy tactic to persuade me to join your club. You don't have to join. Just at least stay and wait for me to finish. You can meet the other girls in the club too. That way you aren't bored. Jesus Christ, woman, you don't let up, do you? Fine, I'll wait for you. Yay! Sayori does a little hop while cheering victoriously. Women really annoy me. They constantly nag you at you even when they don't have the right to. No woman tells me how to eat my food or when to shower or to do pretty much anything other than my own mother. And she earned that authority over me. The only reason I let a few men order me around is due to seniority over me. Once you're out of that chain, you can no longer control me. It's one reason I was at the top of my class in my old school. Now that I think of it, there was one other woman who could order me, but she is gone now. Edgy, aren't we, Alex? I'll see you later today, Alex. Sayori tells me the room number of the literature club before trotting off to her next class. Ugh. I shuffle towards my next class. This looks like a good stopping point for this first part. Really interesting so far, I have to say. This video, this playthrough rather, it looks like it's going to be interesting. Do let me know if I'm talking slow enough, if I'm making sense. I know I tripped over my words in a few places, but that's just because I try to talk as soon as the text appears. My eyes and brain don't match up sometimes. I'll try to get better at that. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Is that what people are that's what people are supposed to say, right? I feel like I've asked that question before, probably. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. Love you all, and I'll see you all next time.